Although park rangers are well trained in their jobs of keeping everyone safe, sometimes things do get them on edge. And today we shall take a look at a few moments where park rangers almost met their makers. A bull elephant runs right at the safari car, trying to intimidate it as it charges right at the vehicle. At the front, the park ranger sits just feet away from his dangling seat on the car, as the elephant actually hits the vehicle where he was sitting and spins it around. People start jumping out of the vehicle and running towards the safety of another as the elephant wreaks havoc on the poor Toyota, flinging it from side to side with a great show of strength. The leftover of the destruction can be seen, and it's not looking pretty. It goes to show these rangers aren't really entirely in control of everything that goes on in the park, and with such a large animal coming in for the attack, it is best to just bail. To the people who think giraffes are safe when you approach them in the wild, mind taking a look at this? These guys can chase you down through the dense brush like they are on fire. These tourists are in for a lot of trouble. Even though the animal is large and tall and may have flimsy legs, but seeing it dart and zigzag through the turns like this is something truly out of the ordinary, and it is in no mood of stopping just yet. The look on their faces tells us what happens when you get chased by animals who are mistaken to be peace lovers. Here we have a couple of brave people who decided to go on a foot safari rather than in a car, and have found themselves face to face with the queen of the jungle herself, a lioness, and the battle of intimidation begins. The face-off gets more intense with every passing moment as the lioness does not back down even a little bit, and neither does the ranger, as he knows that he has a duty to do, which is to keep everyone else safe. As the distance between them grows, the lioness instantly bolts towards them as a last act of intimidation. The brave people, regardless of the animal running and growling towards them, stand their ground and manage to send it off.
Uh-oh.
Remember, folks, the king of the jungle might be the lion, but it is the queen who does the hunting. Hippos are just as wild in captivity as they are in the wild, and here is one who was trying to escape the enclosure by climbing right over the fence, but the zookeeper instantly came over and started pushing the 3-ton animal back while it tries to grab him. The slap and bite competition keeps going as the hippo does not show any signs of backing down until finally the keeper comes right up to it and forces it back into its enclosure.
Oh my god. Ooh.
If that animal had gotten its jaws locked on the keeper, there would have been a more brutal and different outcome. Grizzly bears are probably the strongest animals in the Americas, and encountering them is something you should avoid, unless you are as unlucky as this guy who had to hide as an unsuspecting bear walked up to him.
Hey, bear. Hey!
Luckily for him, the bear did not feel like engaging him and went the other way.
Fine.
Although they don't eat people, they sure can unalive you at any given moment. Snakes, on the other hand, are a lot trickier, as you never see them coming your way. But this park ranger did not let this sneaky snake slide beside him. He patiently waits to build momentum before laying any hands on the snake.
No problem, huh?
He starts moving towards the snake with his equipment while keeping his distance and keeping an eye on where the snake's head is. The ranger gets closer and closer when suddenly he tries to grab the head, but the snake dodges the attack. Eventually, he grabs a hold of the venomous animal and carries it over to the container like it was a piece of cake, a piece of very toxic and venomous cake. Regardless, the ranger does a very good job and contains the slippery critter just in time. It is clear to say that the ranger felt pretty icky handling the snake like he was. Wild hogs will not shy away from taking you down with a swift and powerful hit to your legs, and this guy found himself trapped in a cage with one. Although the ranger had protection in the form of tree bark, it still proved to be a difficult job. After the tree bark failed, the ranger got down on his knees to wrestle the creature to the ground with his bare hands. And to be honest, the trained man did a very good job of it too. The piglets gather around to see what is happening. The animal flips him over and sends him on his back, but he still manages to recover and regain his position before pushing the pig into the cage. That right there was some feisty bacon. Ivan Carter was here in hot pursuit of a large bull elephant that was seen to be wounded. That means that the elephant is going to be even more angry when they encounter it. They close in on the giant bull, but the angry giant instantly charges on them with rage-filled eyes and his tusks pointed directly at them. Luckily, these guys are professionals and know what they must do: stand still. Knowing better than to approach them, having been successfully intimidated, the elephant changes direction and goes away. No matter how big an elephant may be, if you stand your ground, you will overcome it with fear instead. People actually prefer to go on foot during open safaris, which is one of the worst ideas to listen to. With their cameras pointed forward at all times, this group walks right up to a lion that catches wind of them, quickly getting up from its sleep. The lion starts to think that things are getting suspicious, and why wouldn't he? He begins a growling charge at the group, which keeps their stand strong. The lion diverts its path and goes away, but it is still angry as it keeps growling and roaring at the group. The next time someone suggests a foot safari, just wish them good luck and sit in the car instead. People think that grizzly bears are just calm creatures that only attack when provoked, but they don't really need to be provoked to tear your face off. These people got to see one very up close and personal as it walked up to them. It sniffs and sniffs and creeps closer, causing one of the rangers to take out his gun just in case and get ready for the worst case scenario. The bear begins to intimidate the people, but luckily for them, the ranger knew exactly what to do. Rather than use the gun, a couple of steps towards the animal and some shouting do the trick. Never think that you can predict these unpredictable animals, and let the professionals handle the situation. A group of tourists approach a herd of elephants as the dust kicks up behind them, leaving the people with a beautiful sight to behold. The two rangers at the front wait and watch for things to go bad, and they do.
What's this? What's this?
The animals get a little too close for comfort, and the rangers jump into action, trying to intimidate them, calling them off with noise and distractions. The herd huddles around the small hill and begins their charge. One of the bulls, who is too young to know better, goes straight in, and thankfully, the rangers yell and hold their ground, reversing the fear back into the elephant.
Hey! 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 Hey!
Here is why experts are always a good option when going out on a safari with the untamed animals around. Wild hogs are an infestation. These guys breed like there is no tomorrow and cause havoc on agricultural farms. These people are hog hunting, but instead of running away, the hog family runs towards them. The hunter tries his best to make sure he guns down as many of them as he can before they get away. The pigs fall down one by one, but with the number of them, the majority still gets away. This might seem brutal to some people, but trust me, it's actually good for the ecosystem. Already injured and stressed out, this angry grizzly bear charges at the Yellowstone Park ranger. After calling the cars to a halt, the ranger turns his back on the bear, which leads the animal to charge. Everyone starts firing pellets at the bear, causing it to become confused and run away into the forest. The rangers protected everyone from great harm, because if that bear got into one of the cars, it would have been a lot of trouble. Sneaking up on an elephant is just asking for trouble. You do not want to spook these animals like these people are about to do. The elephant is completely unaware of the tourists, but not for long. The animal stands tall with its ears pointed directly towards them as it tries to figure out what they're doing there in the first place. At any given moment, this 5-ton creature can turn into a missile and charge. The elephant has had enough, and after closing the gap, it starts charging at the people, who bravely hold their ground and don't give in to the animal. It does this multiple times before finally heading off into the brush. Dealing with an elephant is enough of a task on its own, but scaring it by sneaking up on it, not a good idea, my friend. This brave ranger had to act, as 3 grizzly bears began closing in on the post where tourists were staying. Being the brave woman that she is, she intimidates all 3 of them at once and holds her ground in front of them. Walking on the road of this safari trail, this bull elephant seems to be looking for trouble, and the trouble comes in the form of a group of tourists that he starts working up on. He begins investigating the vehicle and starts touching it with both trunk and tusk, probably sizing it up to see if it can cause trouble. The herd comes and goes, and the bull goes along with them. But a younger bull with a single tusk seems to be still in a playful mood. On the other side of the world, this elk hunter comes under siege by a mountain lion that is not going to let him go easily, not when the hunter has already drawn his weapon on the animal. As soon as the big cat attacks, the hunter fires a shot, but misses the lion. scaring it enough to stop its advance, so he fires a second shot to make sure the animal is in no mood to come back for seconds. Luckily, it worked out well for the both of them. This grizzly was found roaming on the road, sniffing around for trouble. Still a young guy, he probably does not know much about what is happening around him when it comes to humans. From what it seems, the animal is dazed and confused and might be a victim of the horrid disease of rabies. The rangers are called in before things get worse, and first the animal is scared away. Later, when the animal is at a good distance, shots are fired and some land directly on the animal, causing it to panic and run away into the wild, possibly fatally wounded. Sometimes, humans have to intervene for the betterment of Mother Nature. Walking into the camera frame, this massive bull elephant seems to be interested in the safari vehicle and comes closer and closer. It begins to exhibit signs of anger as it flops its head around and boasts its ears while walking near the car as a show of force. But since the people and the car didn't move, everything seemed to be safe for the moment. The elephant began retreating slowly as it figured out that the car was not a threat. Here we have yet another walking safari group that thought it would be a nice idea if they got close to a lone bull elephant who was probably in his finding a mate season. The animal spots the people and begins approaching them, already angry with his flaunting, but the ranger advises the kids to not move at all. Yet again, incredibly, the elephant starts backing off, but not without a massive show of intimidation, and those kids probably got their money's worth on this trip. Bear spray is made specifically for bears, and it has proven to be very effective. For those of you who haven't seen it in action yet, here it is. Stupidly enough, these people decided to approach a mama bear while she was with her cubs. She lets out a small warning charge, but of course that meant nothing for these people who just went about their day. Later, a ranger, knowing that eventually she would bolt and attack, did not want to take the risk and sprayed a hefty amount of bear spray her way, causing her to start moving out. These rangers found themselves trapped between an angry elephant and the fact that their car was in reverse. The elephants begin walking towards them and slowly pick up the pace.
Okay, great.
They back up a considerable bit, but the elephant keeps coming and slowly makes his way towards the vehicle.
Bennett coming. Yeah, Bennett.
Poor old fella probably does not have much energy left in him to charge them properly and eventually goes his own way. In the thick of the bush, this elephant begins intimidating these people as it begins to boil up its anger. With his ears dead ahead and his eyes locked on the people, he is probably contemplating charging. The ranger brings up a small woman right next to the elephant, but shows her how, if you stand your ground, even a mighty elephant can be pushed back without trying. This male grizzly bear is about to learn a new lesson in the world of Yellowstone Park. The rangers set up to shoot him with pellets to scare him away from the roads and to never mistake him for coming near them. The poor animal starts getting hazed with pellets, which are actually harmless, but this is for its own good, so he does not get hit by cars and generally not attack anyone here. Off he goes, running into the forest.
Hey!
The bear is probably fine after getting hazed. Protecting them sometimes looks ironic, but in the long run, this will pay off. Here we have another set of tourists who happened to stumble upon a massive elephant that was just grazing and minding its own business in the bush. But as soon as he spots the humans, it's game on. After calming down, the elephant comes in close and starts another charge. This time everyone in the car must have gotten ready for a good hit on the car, but the tables turned, and the elephant actually tries holding a human hand.
Oh my god.
When they try to leave, the elephant tries to take advantage of the situation, but the park ranger who was driving goes back at the animal and shows him who is boss. Lions, on the other hand, are not that easy to intimidate by just standing there in one spot. These people had an encounter with 3 male lions who were probably looking for them as much as they were looking for the lions. As soon as these guys start to retreat, the 3rd male lion spots them and starts growling at them as they're trying to go back slowly. The ranger does his best to keep the tourists calm, and they make it safely back. Whenever you see a mother bear with her cubs, you should not go anywhere near that animal because it is always in full attack mode. These people should have known better than to let her get this close. The bear comes closer and closer, but to their surprise, the risk paid off. She let them slide without a single threat whatsoever. The babies follow suit, the animals safely leave, and so do the humans. Yellowstone is one of the few places on Earth that is open enough, yet animals like these bison still cause traffic jams. The ranger is on the scene, but what can he do other than use his car to almost push these animals out? No matter how hard he tries, the bison keep circling back and just don't want to leave the road. Maybe because they are fascinated by it, who knows? What do you do when you see a grizzly bear right in front of you coming your way? You stay there and take a picture of it, of course. These people don't want to leave, and when the animal actually shows up, they start running. Luckily for them, the animal just slips past them, knowing that he should not go for them. Probably the effects of being hazed, who knows? Regardless, these people should feel lucky that he didn't come their way.